Hey guys, and welcome to yet another speed build. It's been 5 days since I last released a video and it feels like a lifetime. So first of all, apologies that this video was not up on Sunday like I promised. I had a family commitment on Saturday, which meant I could not get the build finished or really even fully started. Plus on top of that, I was lacking clarity on my inspiration. We're gonna call it that. And yeah, I was just on the struggle bus, and then that extra commitment was just like a whole other thing to, yep, this is just not happening for Sunday. So I actually gave myself the rest of the weekend off. It came to Monday, I came to build it. I finally got the idea properly clear in my head. Went to go build it, built the entire shell like you see, well, not like you see it now. I built the entire shell. I had fully detailed windows, all the trims, everything on half the build. Felt happy. Oh, no, I've skipped some steps. So I started building it. I did the outside. I don't normally do the entire outside of the house. I normally just do it kind of section by section and put the windows in. But I built the entire shell of the penthouse. Yeah, the penthouse. And then realised I detailed the diagonal that you see there that the tower's on. And then I went to go and do these flat walls. And they were right up against the boundary of the lot. And I discovered that you can't put wall decorations on that last bit of wall. Now, if any one of you have seen one of my builds before, you know that me not putting wall decorations on the exterior of a build is basically not ever never ever gonna happen if I'm using Britechester CC. So I had to then rejig everything, smush it in by one tile. So I did all that thinking I was good. I was happy again. Continued, fully finished half of detailing of the house. And then I took another look at it, was kind of looking round, and then I was like, this just looks like a house on a platform. It doesn't look like a penthouse apartment for the shell below. It just didn't look right, especially because I'd had to bring it in by a tile more because of the whole can't put wall decoration thing on. So it just didn't look right. It kind of looked short and dumpy up there. It didn't look good. So I thought about, I got a suggestion from Felix. I showed him the build. I got a suggestion he said to put a slope roof in that gap. And basically, I didn't have enough wall height to do it because I'd built with all these trims along the bottom and I just didn't have enough wall height. So I then realised I was going to have to demolish the entire lot that I had really kind of built twice already. Let's call it 1.5 times. And just to add this extra floor because there was no way of me moving stuff around. It wasn't a big enough lot to me to move things around to then put this extra floor on. It was just too much of a headache. It would just be quicker just to rebuild it and it would be a lot cleaner and you wouldn't have like double trim layers in certain places. So that's what I decided to do. So I demolished it, I started building it, and then I was like, I don't know if I need this. Like, oh, it's going to be too tall if I add this extra floor in, so that I second guessed that. I exited without saving because I was like, no. I think my original build can be saved. I think I did the top floor on the medium wall height. And if I just change that to the tall wall height, then I can add on this extra sloping roof that's going to make it all blend in. And I went into the game again to go and do this and realized, no. I'd already had the top floor on the tallest wall height. So I had no wiggle room and I really did need to just demolish the whole thing yet again and start to rebuild it. So that's what I did. I completely rebuilt it yesterday. You're watching this on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, by the way. Yesterday I completely started all over again. I'd already done a sneak peek of this, I think, was it on Saturday? Or was it? No, I did a sneak peek of this on Monday on Twitter, and I was like, I can't even change the design. I've already done a sneak peek. I'm screwed. So I really did have to make it work. I knew that this was a good idea. It just needed some tweaking. I was happy with the way I designed the build. It needed an extra floor. So I started building it, and I didn't put the slope roof in the bottom floor straight away. I thought, hey, I'll just leave it and I'll build the rest, and then we'll put the slope roof in. I still wasn't 100% sold on it, but I knew I definitely needed the extra floor in. Even if it was just left there plain, I knew it looked better because it needed to just be that tiny bit more tall. So I was happy with that. And then I kind of had a brainwave suddenly when I looked at the rest of the build, and you'll see me in a little bit put in some arches on that floor, so we don't end up doing a roof there at all, which is why I rebuilt this entire place. We end up actually just putting an extra floor of arches to echo the second floor up that they have in this shell, where there are some arches. Whew, that was a long one. That was the story of my life, basically. Story of this build. I am so glad I actually really like what I do, because if I didn't, this lot probably would never ever have happened. So I'm glad that I was that infatuated with it, that I wanted to continue, and that I would actually have a video for you guys. So this week is actually going to be basically the penthouse week. The exterior is today. Yeah, if you hadn't guessed already, this is just the exterior, because I did have to restart this again yesterday, so I only had time to do the exterior. The plan was to do the whole entire build of this penthouse. This is going to be only residential. This is not a dorm for students. This is just residential. But my plan is to use this exact same building as a dorm. So what I'm going to do is put this on the other platform, and then we're just going to reconfigure it. So my whole kind of backstory, let's get to my little brainwave backstory to justify such a building in the university, is that Britechester University kind of fell on hard times, you know, and to get past this bad financial situation, they needed to sell some of their buildings. So they decided to sell one of their dorms. Of course, dorms are not always necessary for university. You can just tell students to find their own private housing. That's what my university did. So the most obvious thing for them to do was to sell this building off to raise funds for the university and to get them through their little crisis. So they've sold off one of their former dorms to a private investor, and they have fully renovated, brought it back to its former glory. And I'm not too sure how many apartments going to have in here. I think it's just going to be one larger one and maybe one smaller one. Of course, now you can have roommates. So that means you can actually do kind of make your own apartments, which I think is really cool. I'd love, after we've got this well done, to actually do like an apartment build. Be so cool. Again, you still can't legitimately make your own apartments, but you can kind of cheat your Sims into there now and then share the bills, I suppose, with your roommates. I hope that's a way of doing it, and then just like locking off certain parts of the build. But yeah, I'm saying that they sold off this one. This one is privately owned now. The other one is going to be still university owned, and we're going to make sure that this does not look so pristine. Over on the other side, we're going to make some great amendments to it. We're going to university-fy it up for the other one. And so this is just the exterior. On Friday, fingers crossed, I have another family commitment tomorrow, but hopefully on Friday we will have the interior of the penthouse, and then on Sunday we are going to have the interior of the dorm and the whole little renovation thing. I'm going to try and keep in all of the floor plan. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long to do the interior of this, and I'll make sure to keep in the floor plan for you guys because I normally cut that out, but if I divide into 2 videos, I'll try and keep, because I am dividing it into 2 videos, I'll try and keep the floor plan in for you, just because I know some of you actually like to see the floor plan, and I normally just cut it out because it takes so long to build. But anyway, you'll see me now like going through and testing wallpapers. I did originally build this and have CC wallpapers, of course, because they match the trims perfectly, but I realised on this like 4th rebuilding that I actually really did need to use the same wallpaper as is on the bottom. And also you'll see with a blink and fabulous editing on my part that all of the windows and trims and everything have turned to this grey colour instead of the creamy orangey stone colour. So ideally I would have used the same colour walls as the trims, but I knew from looking at this that really to make it blend in I needed to use the same wallpaper that's at the bottom, so I did that and it just didn't go well. Now I zoomed out and I kind of squinted my eyes, and if you can see, actually the trims on the building on the shell below are actually grey, which I would never really do that combo myself, but in order for this to fit in, I needed to turn all of my trims and my windows into grey. And so now if I zoom out and I squint my eyes, then it actually looks like it's part of the building. And as you can see now, I'm putting in these arches as well. They had this level where it steps in lower down. It does actually have these arches as well, which was another good, it just needed another level just to help it transition into the top. So this level is going to be completely empty. There's going to be nothing in there. It's going to be inaccessible. It's purely for decoration so that it fits in, because I was able to do that bottom floor without using wall decorations. So that's the whole point of it. We're going to have the elevator up into basically the first floor, and you'll have 2 floors to use. That is the plan, Batman. Whew. That's a big one. But anyway, how has everyone been? I did finally get to play university for myself. Still not for long enough. I sent my sim to university. She is a mother of 3. She also has a husband. They live in San Myshuno, and she is like a global superstar. So she's at the top of the acting career. She is a 5-star celebrity. So I got her to apply. I thought, let's do a Kim K and let's go to university and become a lawyer. If you don't know, Kim Kardashian is learning to be a lawyer. Is learning the law. Okay, yep. So I thought maybe I could do that with my sim. So because it's acting and it's kind of an active career and you have to get gigs, you can kind of fit it around university a bit more. Also, she doesn't necessarily have to take gigs. She doesn't get fired. She can just pick it up when she's kind of finished, like maybe have a week, because each term is a week. So she could do her 4 classes for a week, then have like a week off and go to university, have a couple of gigs to get the money in, and then go back. But she doesn't really need to. She's got like 70,000 simoleons just sitting there, and she's in a nice little house. She's all fine. She's Gucci. So yeah, it was a little bit different because I was doing it from her apartment in San Myshuno, and she's just got like a whole load of kids to juggle and a house to run. And so I only actually got to manage to send her to university for like 2 days. I think that's as much as I've played it. And really it was just her leaving the house. A lot of homework, I've got to say. She did like a lot of homework. So I need to play it more, but I would like to properly send a sim there and have them like live in dorms and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the whole university experience. Personally, in like real life, I feel you have a totally different experience if you live at home and go to university than if you do and you live in student accommodation. At my university, I know that quite a few people that decided to commute and stayed at home and went to my university ended up moving out into student accommodation for the second year because it just wasn't the same. You know, you just don't get the same experience. You've got to live the student life 24 hours a day and all of that. So, yeah. But anyway, this build was actually inspired by a retail block in Dresden in Germany. I get inspired very much on Pinterest from lots of architectural sketches, so they may not necessarily be buildings that are in existence. They may have once been in existence and they may have been destroyed by now, but that's mostly where I get my inspiration from. And sometimes, of course, I go onto Google Street View. If it does still exist, I'll go and check it out and all that kind of stuff. But this was inspired by that. And then I saw a photo. I just happened to be browsing around, found a photo of a near identical block, that was once located in Berlin. So I used both of those to combine these. But I think I ended up kind of making it look, edging it towards being more British than German. So I knew for this lot I definitely wanted to make some kind of courtyard garden. I wanted this to be in a U shape and the middle cut out because I just thought it was too much of a good opportunity to have a garden up this high. One of the disappointing things, of course, I told you about building up to the lot boundary and you can't place wall decor. But the other disappointing thing about this lot in particular, or these two dorm lots, is that you can't place a swimming pool in the ground. I had plans, and yeah, you can see me now. I'm like, oh my God, I've just added a level. I can put a pool in. I still didn't manage to fit the pool in, much to my dismay. But you can't put a pool in this. Whereas in San Myshuno on the penthouse lots, you can put a pool straight into the ground level, into the ground floor. So I don't get why you can't do it on these lots, because they are the same thing. They're just a penthouse lot. So unfortunately, you can't do these amazing pools outside on the first level. But I must say, I think if I built on this lot again, which I did plan on doing a CC free one, but I'm not too sure if I've got strength after this struggle. But if I did so happen in the future to build another type of building on here, I think I would still do this level of arches, so then I can work around the whole not having a pool thing and reconfigure the apartment in some other way. But yeah, I just knew I definitely wanted to have this kind of garden out here, and it's just amazing views from this place. I am kind of leaning more towards the fact that the team maybe took the whole entire world from Holland, because yes, this does look like a British university, but I feel like you could also find this in Holland as well. It's very Dutch. It could be Dutch too. And I know they said they were inspired by England, but I don't know, there's something not quite sitting with me. So yeah, I'm gonna hand it to you guys. I'm pretty sure it's Dutch, but we're just gonna pretend it's British AF all the time. It's fine. But for some reason, also this kind of courtyard it's kind of to be a mix between England and Paris. I don't know, just the topiary bushes to me are very much Parisian. And then I put ivy, in a second you'll see it, spoiler alert, I end up putting the new the live edit objects the ivy object that came with Discover University. I end up putting it on these walls, and I just think I feel like ivy on anything makes it look a bit more European or British in this case. So yeah, I must say totally in love with the ivy that we got. Yeah, I'm searching for it now. I'm totally in love with the ivy that we got. I wish we had this as a proper legit object and not just debug. And because there's only one that can be put on the flat of a wall, you're going to have to kind of downsize the ivy to make it a little bit more versatile. And of course, you've only got these standard shapes. It would be great if I could kind of place it together rather than have it in this set pattern. But beggars can't be choosers. I'm still happy. Of course, the ivy makes no sense. It's not grown up from anything, but you know, it looks good. That's the main point. Anyway, my plans for this penthouse are probably to do a slightly more modern, I'm not going to say modern like ultra modern, I'm going to say more of a contemporary interior. Let me know if you have a stronger version to that, but I think it would be more contemporary because it's been, as I said, my whole backstory is that it's been sold off to raise funds for the university, so it would have been fully redeveloped. I still want to keep like the stonework from the outside and have that on the inside as well, and maybe some of the original wallpapers possibly that could have been in this building, but then have a mix between a few traditional pieces, but more modern pieces to finish off the interior for this. I'm excited to get going on it. As soon as I've finished recording this, we're going to do it. I'll include screenshots at the end of this video to show off the exterior, and yeah, I'm just happy to be back. It does feel a little bit weird to have been away for like 5 days. I'm not gonna lie, the whole build every other day for the first 2 weeks since university, since I got my hands on the game, was a tough ask, but it was very good to kind of get the channel moving and lots of the world renovation done in a quick period of time, which I still kind of concentrated on making them high quality builds, even if they were out quickly. I just worked longer hours. Let's put it that way. The amount of hours put in was a lot higher than usual. But yeah, we're just finishing off the roof decorations. I am back now to my normal schedule. It's not going to be builds every other day. That was only going to be for the first couple of weeks anyway. Now that the kind of hype has died back down to its normal levels, we're going to go back to uploading 3 times a week, which is on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. You will get videos from me, and that's what we're back to this week. So happy Wednesday, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye guys.